In this video, I'm going to take you through a set of business-related questions to help you uncover opportunities when side by side with a customer or prospect looking at their existing ads campaign. I'm going to call it ads from now on because you know and I know that Google changed the terminology recently from AdWords to ads because it includes all sorts of different formats, display and video and YouTube and so on. Right, let's go through the questions. Number one, how is your campaign working for you right now? And of course, the question to that is, how do you know how it's working? Next one, is it financially viable? And what we mean is it actually generating a profit for you on each sale or lifetime value? And do you know that? And how much is that? The third question is, can your campaign be improved? And how are you going to find out where there are opportunities for improvement? So let's just look at these questions in a little bit more detail, then dive into all the stuff that can be found in an AdWords account. The questions will be, campaign working for you? So how dependent are you on paid search for generating leads that convert to the goal that you want? Let's call it sales or forms completed. What's your capacity to actually service that at the times you want to service it? When we look at AdWords, we'll see, are your ads running at that time or are they running at times when you're not there to service them? Is your campaign financially viable? So yes, we'll be talking about the cost of acquisition, return on advertising spend, and more importantly, what gross margin does one transaction generate for you instantly, and then over the lifetime value of keeping that customer happy and coming back to you. And then, can your campaign be improved? There are two elements to any campaign, aren't there? Always two elements, however complex it would be, is how visible are you, how prominent are you, and how relevant are you? Those are all about being found. The next one, being chosen. What's the USP that shouts out that you should be chosen? What's the offer? What's the value proposition? And then, what's the user experience, the UX? What's the user experience? How friction-free is it? How easy is it? How few clicks to get to do what they want to do? Right, let's go through now and look straight away at the kind of questions that you have. Open up AdWords with your clients, sit side by side and check with them. Have they set goals? And of course, if they set goals, you can start to have a more informed discussion. If they haven't, they should. Let's look at source of their conversions. When we say source of conversions, what we really want to find is, this question is paid versus organic or other channels. How much is your paid search campaign contributing to all sales? So we'll be looking at paid, direct and referral, and that's something you can find in Google Analytics. It's also something you can find within AdWords. By the same token, what platforms lend themselves to most conversions? Is that going to be desktop, mobile or tablet? Can you see how crazy it would be to continue to actually pay for clicks on mobile, and when you actually look at the way that those are actually converting, they may be inferior to the ones on desktop. Of course, that means you could put mobile right, but for now, why waste money until you put that right and pumping your budget into where it converts the most? And then let's look at this ratio of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. If we think of impressions at the top of the funnel and click-through rate further down and then conversions right the way towards the bottom, we can look at this ratio and ask yourself, which is the best click-through rate? With which words, with which ad groups, with which campaigns, and therefore with which products? And then how much are we actually paying for that? Which leads us on to our second question. What's the cost of acquiring a lead? And you know what that is. It's the number of clicks it takes for somebody to come to your site and then actually complete a goal like filling a form in or picking up the phone. The next level down from that, to right at the bottom of their buying funnel, is how many of those forms or calls do you actually need to actually have a sale? And that will be the cost of acquisition of the sale. You will know what the gross margin is, or you and your customer will know what the gross margin is for product and service and the lifetime value. And then you can start to have a conversation around, if you only had a finite budget, where should you be putting it and how and why? And now let's come on to this large area here, is how can it be improved? Now here we're going to be talking generally about being found and being chosen. So let's look at what reports are available inside AdWords to help you do that. First of all, especially if it's being managed by a different agency or themselves, go into the change history activity. How frequent is that? What have they actually changed? Can you see lots of negative keywords being added to eliminate being actually available and visible for a click that you know won't work? Google Ads itself will give you notifications in the top on the right with a bell and a number of notifications to tell you about opportunities for improvement, and in the main they're quite helpful. Why wouldn't you look at those first to check out what could be done to improve either visibility or the chance of being chosen by improving copy, the ad and quality score? Now let's look at some detailed reports. In the reporting tools within AdWords, it's very easy, drag and drop easy, to create something called an impression share loss report. And you'd simply do that by going to report, starting new table report, putting in, dragging and dropping an ad group or a campaign or both, going to the bottom of the options until you get to competitive metrics, and then dragging across into the build it yourself report around impression share loss due to rank and due to budget. And then once you have that knowledge available, you'll be seeing by how much you're missing out, either because you're running out of cash or because of quality. What Google is actually assessing every time that you're shown how relevant you are versus the others. So that's the rank and the budget calculation. Have you actually aligned your ad structure to your website? If there are 5 different product groups and services on your website, there should be segmentation around 5, whether it's a campaign or whether it's different ad groups, but there should be some real differentiation. Wouldn't it be crazy to have an ad for fridges and freezers appearing at the same time as 3-piece suites and bedding and beds if you were a furnishing and homeware store? Ad content and including calls to action and USPs. This one's so important and often overlooked. I like to go and read an ad. I like to put myself in the position of a potential customer for this business, and I have to then ask myself, am I compelled? Am I motivated to want to click on this ad simply by reading what it's telling me in front, or as I see it on the page? And if the answer is a no for me, it's likely to be a no for other people. I would be looking at what's the call to action and what's the value proposition. What makes me want to do it? Is it price? Is it speed? Is it quality? Which one of those is it? There's a report called Audience Insight. It's there on every ad group. It's so overlooked. For every ad group, there's a row of tabs. Click on Audience Insight, and after 30 days of running a campaign, you'll be able to see where are you in relation to all of your other relevant competition in terms of being shown, where visible, in positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And where are you with regard to how often you outrank somebody else in those positions. Not only will you find out where you are, but you'll have direct evidential insight into who actually your competition is. Quality score, not to be overlooked. We all know that quality score reduces cost of the click, increases prominence, and so why wouldn't you want to do something very, very quickly about improving quality score, getting it from 3, 4, 5 up to regular 8s, 9s and 10s out of 10. And finally, one of the checks I make is looking at, do you know, I remember I mentioned Audience Insight. Right next to there's a tab called Search Terms. Clicking on that will tell you what was actually typed into the search engine that your keywords triggered and then sent the person through to your ad. Think about how useful that could be. Think of the search term that triggered your ad, and when you read the search term, you can ask yourself, did I actually want my ad to appear for that search term? And if the answer is yes, start looking at the way you can build out those keyword sets, whether it's an exact match, phrase match, broad match modified. That's all great secrets. The big one is negative keywords. What if somebody's typing something in, your ad is triggered, worse, somebody clicks on it, and has got keywords in that search term, words within the search term, which you did not want to be found for, then those ought to be automatically put into the campaign as negative keywords, so that your ad isn't shown. You really need to do that to control spend of unwanted appearances and visibility of the ad itself. So in a nutshell, business questions, sources of data with inside AdWords, and then you'll be able to find some opportunities to help your clients succeed online.